Good afternoon folks, my name is Mark. Recently with the ongoing lockdown in the UK, it's been a couple of things which will become obvious in this video. First of all is that I've not been able to get a haircut, which is why this is quite a mess, so sorry about that. But also it prompted in a roundabout way a motivation for making this video. Like many people, I've been watching a huge amount of television, and one of the shows I was watching last week featured a character who was using a BlackBerry Pearly smartphone. This took me back to a time 10 plus years ago where I came very close to purchasing the BlackBerry Pearly smartphone myself. At that point I eventually opted for one of the earlier generations of the iPhone, but I was ever so close to purchasing the Pearly at that time. In the early to late 2000s, BlackBerry were still a very key player in the smartphone market. They absolutely dominated the business sector, but they're also starting to creep into the consumer side as well. An increasing number of people in their late teens to early 20s were using BlackBerry Messenger quite heavily, and phones like the BlackBerry Bold and the BlackBerry Curve were becoming a lot more mainstream. And for my part, the BlackBerry Pearly looked like an intriguing option. And this got me thinking, with nothing else to do really, is what would it be like to actually purchase a BlackBerry Pearly and use it in 2020? I don't think there's any expectation whatsoever that a BlackBerry Pearly could hold up to doing what a modern day smartphone does, but still I beg the question of what can it do and just how far has the smartphone world moved on at that point. So naturally that took me straight to eBay, where I was able to purchase a BlackBerry Pearly 8110 smartphone for a priceless sum of £10. And this was listed as having never been opened and having never been used. So the objective of this video is going to be unboxing the £10 BlackBerry Pearly, just to see exactly what £10 buys you from a BlackBerry in 2020, but we'll also start to explore what it looks like to use in the real world. Again, not expecting much by modern smartphone standards, but still intrigued to see what's the camera like, what's the video like, what is communication like, can you still email on this? Although I think not. So with that, we'll cut straight over to the unboxing and we'll take it from there. Okay folks, we're now going to get into the unboxing of the BlackBerry Pearly 8110 smartphone, which we picked up from eBay for just £10. This phone first came to market in 2008, so we're really interested to see what sort of use you can get out of this BlackBerry in 2020, knowing just how much the smartphone market has moved on since then. Starting with the box itself, it was listed as having never been used and never been opened, and certainly the box is in fairly good condition. There's the odd blemish here and there on the side, and the seal has been broken, it has been opened before. But for 12 years old, I think it's fair to say it's in pretty good condition. Certainly, personally speaking, if I had a box for 12 years sitting in a cupboard somewhere, it probably wouldn't be in as good condition as this. On the side of the box, it gives us a bit more information about the phone we're about to look at. So it's listed as being small, smart and stylish, which I suppose we will be the judges of. Quad band GPRS, which is really modern tech now, 5G, eat your heart out. Integrated GPS, which at the time was not something readily available on every single phone, so this phone was billing this as a major selling point. We get the full BlackBerry experience, which I'm sure is something we all miss. We've got a camera with a flash, which is great, a media player, so we're really looking forward to getting some banging tunes on. We've got expandable memory, trackball navigation, which we all quite enjoyed in our BlackBerries, voice dialing, we've got Bluetooth, USB, and we can also sync it to our PC. So now we'll open this up and see what we're working with. And there we have it, the BlackBerry Pearly 8110 itself. Again, this was listed as new and having never been used, and it's fair to say the phone seems to be in pretty good condition at first glance. Yep, no obvious sign of blemishes or major sort of use, a bit of dust here and there, but I think for a 12-year-old phone, this is in pretty good condition. Great, okay, put that to one side, we'll come back to that. We'll see what else we've got in this box. On the left here, we've got this big box, which I imagine is probably the power bricks, which it is, yep, just a lot of plastic, so we'll get into that shortly when we need to charge it if possible. Whoops. We've got the removable battery, which is something we used to get on all phones. So going to be very exciting to relearn how to install a battery ourselves. Great. I've also got I think it's a micro USB connector. That's if we're connecting it to our computer to sync up, which I don't imagine we'll be doing. Got a set of wired stereo headset, 3.5mm headphones. Back when smartphones used to have headphone connectors, seems so long ago. And looky here, we've got a BlackBerry holster. That's fantastic. These things used to be the real kind of cutting edge of style. You would see a lot of people walking about with their BlackBerry holster connected to their belt, and that's how you knew someone had really made it. I wasn't sure if that came off to connect to a belt. No, it does not. But anyway, that's what we use to keep our phone protected. Not something we'd probably commonly use today, but if we've got it, we're going to use it. And the rest of this box, I imagine, is just some paperwork. So just a Vodafone booklet. This phone was locked to Vodafone, and we've also got the CD-ROM just to make us feel really old. Great, so that's the box itself. So what we'll do is we'll move some of the stuff out of the way and we'll have a look at the phone itself. So as we said before, the phone seems to be in fairly good condition, nothing really wrong with that. So what we'll do now is we'll pop the battery in, we'll pop a SIM card in, and we'll see if this thing fires up. Did pick up a Vodafone SIM from Amazon for all of 12 pence, just a pay-as-you-go. Just to let us actually try this phone out without having to spend a huge amount of cash on it. Let's see if we can get into installing the battery. Again, this is something we used to have to do on all phones. And imagine the flexibility you would have now in terms of being able to replace your smartphone battery when the health of the battery got to a level where that was required. That would be a game changer for modern smartphones, but obviously now there's a bit more obsolescence built into phones, and when the battery starts to go, generally we start to move on. Not so in the past, when we could just pop out one battery and put a new one in, or even if you were planning a long haul without having access to power, you'd be able to change the battery out. So what we've done here is we've popped the battery in and the phone has come on itself automatically. You've all noticed I forgot to put the SIM card in. We'll come back to that in a minute. We'll let the phone start up and we'll see what we're working with. Just while we're waiting for that to load up, we'll have a quick chat about what we've actually got on the phone itself. So we do have the legendary BlackBerry QWERTY keyboard, but the function on the pedal is slightly different. So they are just sort of numbered. So I believe you have to press one side or the other, or press them both if you want the other letter. I'm not quite sure how it works. Also got the trackpad in the middle, which was again fairly revolutionary for BlackBerry at the time, and this was certainly in a touchscreen world at the point, or we were just entering the touchscreen world when this phone first came out, and the BlackBerry trackpad was a real excellent way of interacting with your phone without having to use up or down keys as you did on other phones. So you can see that the main screen has loaded up with this phone. It's asked me to insert a SIM card. Sorry about that phone, we'll sort that out later. But I mean, very different to what you would expect on a modern smartphone. When you load up, you would normally see certain apps or weather or whatever else. We don't have anything like that. Very simple here, just voicemail, call log, email, which I don't think will work in this one, but we'll try it anyway, text messages, and your calendar. What we'll do is we'll pop into the menu very quickly and see what we're dealing with. Again, no sort of app tray. Come back to the time later on. No app tray or app screen as you would get on a modern smartphone. It's just very much the system functionality that you can access. We'll have a quick look through and see what we've got, see if we can use the trackpad. So first area is for setting up. Then we've got email, which I don't think will work, but we'll try it anyway. Text messaging, calendars, Vodafone Live, that's a blast from the past. Doubt that works, but we'll try it anyway. Profiles, call log, contacts. You've got went too far there, you've got your media player, We've got the camera and the video camera, which we're looking forward to trying out. I've got a voice notes recorder, which is still fairly current in fairness. A keyboard lock, so it doesn't mash in your pocket if you've got big sausage fingers like I do. You can search the phone, tools and accessories, and the alarm. Okay, so again, by modern standards, not a huge level of features, but there are certain things we definitely want to be trying on this phone in a real world environment. How is it to text? How is it to call? And certainly we want to be trying out this rear facing camera and video camera as well. So that brings us to the end of the unboxing video. The plan now is to actually use this phone in a real world environment and see what it's like to actually use a BlackBerry in 2020. I don't think we're expecting much. I don't think the question is, can you use a BlackBerry in 2020? Because certainly we can, it physically works, but we won't have access to anything that we have on our current smartphones, like any sort of social media, messaging, certainly not the internet. So the experience is going to be very, very different. I don't expect anyone to use one of these phones in 2020, but I suppose the question is, what is it like to use in 2020? Just how far away is a 2008 smartphone from a 2020 smartphone world? So there we have it, folks, the unboxing of the BlackBerry Pearly 8110 smartphone, which we picked up from eBay for just £10. The plan for this phone now will be to take it into the real world and really get a feel for what it's like to use a 2008 smartphone in 2020. We'll have a look at the camera, we'll have a look at its video, have a look at the texting and the calling, and we'll even see if we're able to get emails working, although as mentioned before, I suspect not. So all that's still to come in a future video, but if you enjoyed this video, you can hit the like button below. If you want to see any more of these videos that I'll probably make, you can hit the subscribe button. But thank you all for watching and stay safe.